students. Today, let us go through the lesson on examinations by Winston Spencer Churchill. Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill, who was the Prime Minister of England twice, that was from 1940 to 1945 and from 1951 to 1955, was a dynamic leader. He was a famous statesman and a far-sighted politician. He was also a good orator. At the same time, he was an eminent writer, a popular artist, and a historian par excellence. His career as a newspaper correspondent and as an official of various capacities in different establishments was highly satisfactory. He was really a versatile character. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1953 after publication of his 6 volumes of the Second World War. The topic on examinations is an excerpt from chapter 2, Hero, of Churchill's autobiography, A Roving Commission, My Early Life, which was published in 1930. It incorporates a lot of information about Churchill's performance in his entrance examination to Harrow, his obligation and admiration for Dr. Weldon, the headmaster of Harrow School, his estimation of Mr. Somerville as a teacher of English language, his experience of playing pranks with a senior student, and his preparation for the preliminary examination for the army. Examinations are the most vital features of all academic studies. They are the deciding factors of the student's career. They determine how much talented the students are, whether they are eligible or not for the next higher studies. That is why examinations are so important in a student's life. It is for this reason that examinations are taken very seriously. For the average students, it is a tough task. To the poor students, it is a great trial. Now, let us go through the text. I had scarcely passed my 12th birthday when I entered the inhospitable regions of examination through which for the next 7 years I was destined to journey. Here I refers to the author Spencer Churchill himself. When did Churchill enter the inhospitable regions of examinations? Spencer Churchill entered the inhospitable regions of examinations when he had hardly passed his 12th birthday. These examinations were a great trial to me. This line suggests us that he disliked the examinations. His favorite subjects were history, poetry, and writing essays, and he wanted to be examined on the subjects that he liked the most. But he was asked to appear examinations in Latin and mathematics. Latin and mathematics were the favorite subjects of the examiners. While setting questions, the examiners set questions from their favorite subjects like Latin and mathematics. But Churchill was not at all good at these two subjects, for which he could not give satisfactory answers. Instead of helping him display his knowledge, the examiners seemed to be trying to expose his ignorance. The result was thus miserable. His potentiality thus remained unrecognized and unnoticed. To him, it was not only obtrusive to the prospect of his career building initiative, but also humiliating to his student life. Winston Churchill's admission to Harrow was a matter of good luck. It happened only for the headmaster, Dr. Weldon. If he had not been there, Churchill's admission to the prestigious institution would not have become possible. He took a broad-minded view of his Latin prose, setting aside the theoretical principles of evaluation, and took his general ability into consideration. He could not answer a single question in the Latin paper. The answer sheet contained his name at the top of the page, the number of the question, 1 in parentheses, blood, and several smudges. These marks were nothing but the symbols of his disappointments owing to his ignorance in the subjects. For 2 hours he sat gazing at the sad figures with a sad thought originated from a grief-stricken heart. When the examination was over, the answer sheets were collected and placed on the headmaster's table. He felt relaxed. The list of qualified students for admission to Harrow was notified. Surprisingly, Churchill was placed in the list of the eligible candidates. Churchill was fortunate enough to have a seat at Harrow. It was possible only for Dr. Weldon, the then headmaster of Harrow School, who judged his performance in the examination not from the point of view of evaluation of his answer paper, but from the consideration of the display of his ignorance in the paper. He was very much thankful and highly obliged to the headmaster for his valuable decision. He was placed in the third section of the fourth standard. It means he was given the admission at Harrow School in standard 4, but his position was the bottom position in the class. In the alphabetical list of the newcomers, his position was reflected in the last part. Only 2 boys were after him who left the school for some reasons. The system of roll call at Harrow was quite different from that of Eton. At Eton, the students had to stand in a group and lift their heads when their rolls were called. At Harrow, they had to file past a master in the schoolyard and respond one by one. This way, the roll call differed from Eton to Harrow. As he was the son of an illustrious political leader named Lord Randolph Churchill, people in large numbers used to wait on the school steps to have a glance at him. He felt uncomfortable to hear their disrespectful remark of why he was last of all.